Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and this is day 17 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body course. Today's protein source is going to be sardines, and today is a chest training workout. And the theme for today's workout is assisted PNF stretching. So right now, I'm going to be demonstrating how to perform contract relax PNF stretching. Now let's get started. And while we were resting, let's discuss how exactly you could perform assisted PNF stretching on yourself using some strength bands. And we're going to be focusing on the abductors and adductors of the hip. For both of these, what we are going to be doing is we're going to start in a supine position, meaning we're going to be laying down on our back. To focus on the abductors, we want to take the leg into a deduction, so across the midline. When we are in a supine position, we're going to be targeting more the anterior fibers of the adductors and abductors. So for this one right over here, what we would want to do is anchor a strength band to a low point, and then if we wanted to target the abductors, we would place the band at the knee, and we would place it around the outside of the knee. And I'm just going to come back that way you could see it a little bit better. But what we would do for this one right over here is with the opposite leg, we would go ahead and drape it over cross. And then what we would do from this position is we want to try and get our ankle as much across the midline as possible. So we just go into as much adduction as possible. And then to contract, we would inhale, push the leg in or out to the side, go into abduction, and then exhale, relax, and try and get deeper into it by rotating your body. Then, if we wanted to target more of the intermediate fibers, we would come up to either our elbows or bring our arms behind our back. So now we're targeting more the medial fibers because we're getting the hip more into flexion. Same thing though, we would inhale, go into abduction, and then exhale, get deeper into adduction to target the middle or to target the abductors. And then we would just rotate our body. If we wanted to target more of the posterior fibers, we would get into a seated position. Same thing, we would go ahead, inhale, we would go into abduction by pushing the leg across, and then exhale, get deeper into the stretch, and just rotate our body so that we could get as much adduction as possible. That was for the abductors of the hip. Now, if we want to stretch the adductors, we want to go into abduction, but the principle is exactly the same. We would start in a supine position. This time, the band is going to be around the inside of the knee. So for this one, what we could do is use this leg as our point to get deeper into the stretch. But what we would do for this one right over here is keeping the toes pointing straight up. We would want to go into as much abduction as possible. And then we would want to inhale, contract, exhale, relax, and then twist our body more and try and get more into abduction. That's going to target the anterior fibers of the adductor group. If we wanted to get a little bit more into the intermediate fibers, what we would do is we would either go on our elbows or we would just bring our arms back so that our hip is flexed approximately 45 degrees. Same thing, we would go inhale, contract, exhale, relax, and then twist our body to get deeper into the stretch and get more of an adductor stretch that way. And then if we wanted to target more of the posterior fibers, we would be in a tall seated position. Same thing, we would go ahead and we would get first into as much abduction as possible by bringing the leg outside of the body. And then we would inhale, contract the adductors by bringing the thigh in. And then exhale, relax, and twist your body and try and get as much abduction, abduction by taking your foot outside of your body as much as possible. And that is how we would perform some assisted PNF stretching on ourselves using some strength bands for the abductors and adductors of the hip. But our rest period is up. Time for set number 6. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.